She had come into the store 9 times. The door had been locked since midnight. The fluorescent lights hummed the way they always did at 3 a.m., that thin insect frequency that lived behind the eyes. Marcus had worked this shift for 2 years. He knew the sounds of the store, the way he knew his own breathing, the cooler compressor cycling, the scratch of the receipt printer, the particular hollow click of the front door engaging its lock. He had clicked that lock himself at midnight. He remembered the cold of the handle. The first time the woman came in, he barely looked up. White coat, dark hair pulled back, no bag. She moved through the aisles without browsing, straight to the water, the mints, the charger display, and then she stood at the card rack for exactly 30 seconds before pulling a card with no envelope from the clearance slot. She set 4 items on the counter. She paid in exact change. She left. He didn't remember watching her go. The second time, he felt a low, unnamed thing shift behind his sternum, the same coat, the same path through the aisles. He told himself she'd forgotten something. People forgot things. By the 4th visit, his hands had gone cold. She never looked at him during the transaction. Her eyes tracked somewhere just above his right shoulder, not at the cigarette display, not at the security mirror, just at the air. Her expression held nothing, not calm, not absence, something that sat between the two. By the 7th visit, Marcus had stopped saying the total out loud. She already had the money in her hand. He counted the visits in pen on the back of a receipt, 1 mark per transaction, 9 marks in 90 minutes. He stared at the marks the way a man stares at a word until it stops meaning anything. Then he looked at the door. The bolt was thrown. He could see it from the counter. The small brass tongue extended into the frame, exactly where he'd left it at midnight. He walked the length of the store, his sneakers loud on the linoleum. He pressed his hand flat against the glass, solid, cold, locked. The receipt with 9 marks was still in his hand. He pulled up the security system on the register terminal. 4 camera feeds, grainy and time-stamped. He scrubbed back 90 minutes. He watched himself standing at the counter, watched the empty store, watched the locked door, holding, still, unmoving. Nothing came through it. In the footage, he was alone, but he could see himself reacting, his head turning, his hand making change, the receipt printer running 9 times, the paper curling to the floor. He watched himself hand a bag to empty air. Marcus stood there long enough that the timestamp on the feed read 4:41 a.m. His own reflection stared back at him from the dark monitor glass. His face looked wrong in a way he couldn't place. He heard the sound. Not the door. The door made no sound, but the cooler compressor stopped. That hum beneath everything, that constant, and in the silence he became aware of the smell. Rain, wet wool, the faint chemical sweetness of mints. He turned around slowly, the way you turn when some older part of you already knows. She was standing at the counter, the water, the mints, the charger, the card, already placed in a neat row on the glass. Her exact change already stacked beside them. She was not looking at the air above his shoulder. She was looking directly at the camera mounted in the corner above the door she had never opened. Her expression still held nothing, and Marcus understood the way dread arrives before thought that she had been watching the footage too.